Hello Mayhem makers, welcome back. We're finally back to Mindy's Monday Mayhem Tips live at the shop. Unfortunately last week we didn't get to go live because as a lot of you know, Facebook crashed. So we may have gotten to do a lot of other things, but Facebook was not on the agenda for that day. So we're now at Monday Mayhem Tips 2.0. We're going to try this again. My tip for this week as we're getting back into sewing and getting back into hopefully a more regular routine is I want to talk about keeping your tools nice, updated, working with good sharp blades, good needles, all those things, because nothing's worse than trying to cut out a project and getting all those little nicks in the fabric and you're sitting there with your snips and wondering why nothing's cutting right. You have to keep changing your blade. And one of our tricks here in the store, because we have so many cutters and we go through so many blades so often, is we actually put little dots with the date on it. So we just go to local office supply and get these Avery color coding stickers. We use them for a lot of things, sale fabric, all that kind of stuff. But we keep changing our dots. We put the month and the day, and we know how old this blade is. So this one's dated 9/25. It's a little old. So it probably is going to need some changing. But that way we know, like if we're struggling to cut fabric, it's probably because our blade's old and we'll swap it out. So stock up, get those. We have 5-packs, 10-packs. Bulk up on your blades. If you do a lot of cutting, a lot of quilting, all those kinds of things, don't just buy 1-packs. Get a bulk pack, be ready to change those blades. I know you guys hate doing it. It's a must. It makes it easier on your life, makes it nicer for your mat. If you were cutting with a dull blade on your mat, you were chewing up that mat. That's an expensive item to replace because you just didn't want to change that blade. So especially those if you have that Fifth Saturday bag, get your blades with your Fifth Saturday bag. Get that discount so it doesn't feel quite so painful to do that expense. But dull blades on mats, not a good thing. That's what gets you all those grooves when you're cutting those kinds of things. Making sure you keep your mat nice and clean, wipe it off with a damp cloth, all those kinds of things. All those fibers digging in there, they're just not healthy for your mat. So make sure you're keeping your mat nice and clean. If you've had your mat since you started, and you started long ago, like me, where it's maybe been a couple decades, get yourself a new one. Once again, if you've got that Fifth Saturday bag or when we run our specials, get yourself a new mat. It'll do wonders. It helps keep your blade lasting longer because you're not working on a rough, worn out mat. And it makes all your sewing a lot better, all your cutting, because you're not getting all those divots. Things aren't cutting all wonky. Just treat yourself to a new mat if you've got an older one. That's another one of our tips of just a happy sewing. It is sewing season. It's cold outside. We just want to sew, and we don't want to be frustrated when we sew, okay? My other thing, needles. Oh my gosh, people, please change your needles. Please, 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 I'm begging you. Don't bring your machine in for service, and if I say, when's the last time you changed your needle, and you went, huh? I don't know. Invest in a bulk pack, if anything. If you do, once again, a lot of sewing, bulk packs are where it's at. It's where your savings is at. And just like every other bobbin, change that needle. They're not that expensive. I know they seem expensive, but please change them. Please, 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 because they do wear out. Fabrics dull the tip. You can't really see it, but they are, and that's when you start getting your stitches not looking perfect, or skipping stitches, all those kinds of things. And making sure you have the right needle for the right project. Most of my sewing is quilting. Till recently, you may have seen that I'm starting to dabble in some garments. We're going to talk about that today. But most of my work is on just your nice basic cotton. So a good microtex needle, top stitching if you're doing bags and quilting, those kinds of things. Universals, they're a good down the middle of the road, but if you're really truly just sewing, quilting, microtex is that good sharp point needle. It's going to do the best job for you. And then making sure you have the right size. If you're using a good basic 50 weight thread, your nice just middle of the road weight 50 weight thread, get a good 80-12 needle. I mean, this is This is our store one. These are boxes of 100. This tells you, and there's like, I asked for the box. There's 2 lonely needles left. We go through a lot of needles here because we do a lot. So bulk up, stock up for the season, and just please change those needles, change those blades. If you have questions about what needles to use with what threads and what fabrics, ask us. We'll answer, because it makes a difference. Putting a ballpoint needle and just using it on a cotton isn't the way to go. But using a microtex potentially on a knit, you're not going to get happy results either. So if you're getting icky stitches, puckering, nicking fabrics, all those kinds of things, just come see us. We will gladly teach you what they call like TNT, threads, needle and tension, because it all makes a difference. So we're here all about the education, right? We want you to be happy, happy sewers, especially now that we're just in prime sewing season. I had my fireplace on yesterday because it was cold out. It just made me happy while I was sewing. So those are kind of my tips for this week. Just please prepare. Have a good mat, not an old one. Change those blades, change those needles. And we do carry bulk packs for those of you heavy duty sewers kind of like me, where you're just doing a lot of projects, okay? So just come see us, we'll take care of you. The other new news besides that, we're here, we're open, we're having classes again, all those lovely things, machine sales, all of the mayhem, all of it's here. I have started dabbling in garments. I made this beauty, and a bolt is now dangerous for me because they all start to go home, but they become cute little tops. This is the Bondi top. So I've decided to get into that crazy train of garments. I didn't give up quilting, don't worry guys. I still have sew-alongs and you name it, all those kinds of things coming for you, so don't worry. Quilting hasn't gone anywhere for me. We're just stepping into some garments, some fun kind of stuff, because you know what? I make it so it fits me. I don't have to worry about being baggy or not fitting in all the right curvy places, because a lot of us got curves. So that is the fun part of garments, let alone that I get to play with all the fun machines and the sergers and those kinds of things. We do have a serger event, so if you've never touched a serger, please sign up for our serger event. We set them up for you. You get to put your hands on them, and you didn't have to buy it. You can just come play, see what it's all about. And you either think it's really super cool and fun like I do. I took one home and it hasn't come back yet. Or you just decide maybe it's not your jam, and that's okay too. It's not always for everybody, but you know what? You never know, and they're great. You put quilt backings together. You can make pillowcases. You can make table runners and napkins, and then clothes, and oh my gosh, the universal uses of that serger, it's not just one thing. It's not a one-trick pony. So come do our serger event, get your hands on one, try out the Bondi top sew along. This is an easy one. You don't have to pay to join. All you gotta do, super easy, and go, yes, let's try this. This is an easy one. We're trying very beginner basic. Buy the Bondi top pattern, okay? Buy this guy, go to our Facebook, QM Bondi top sew along, ask to join. That's all you gotta do. And then I will be doing videos every week to show you all the things, and there will be a supply list. And the nice thing with this pattern is there's a little, so you can make mommy and me matching. My mom did that for me as a kid. Oh my goodness. I had mommy and me, I had me and my Cabbage Patch Kids. All those things. My mother, oh, bless her, she did so many garments. And then they have this extension. So if you follow my personal Instagram, I did just post, I did the dress extension. That was a whole different learning. Don't worry, we're starting with the top. That's all we're doing. We're tackling the top. And then you can decide if you want the next level of crazy. Okay, so baby steps. This is nice, easy. 3 pieces of fabric is all that it is that you're playing with. And I will teach you how to measure, how to trace, all those things. All the things that if all you've ever done is quilt or nothing, maybe you're brand new to us. Maybe you're brand new to everything. We'll teach you everything. So purchase pattern, get on that Facebook group. I'm going to put a supply list on there. But I thought I'd kind of talk about the supplies for you guys, just if you had questions. And a lot of it is just basic things that you will probably already have in your sewing room. If you are seasoned quilter, sewer, all those kinds of things, you'll probably have them. But I thought I'd just review a few things, and some are kind of new and different and really cool. So we'll start with sewing tools. Oh my gosh. Sewline Styla pen. Love this pen. This is a brand new one. This is water erase. So once I'm done with my garment, I wash it. It comes out, no more marks. The water erase is great. If you know me, you know I love friction pens. Friction pens are a heat erase. Not always the greatest for garments, because if you're ironing as you sew, your markings go away that you may need. So you're gonna have to step up to a Styla, or, oh my gosh, I've had one of these 25-ish years. Choco liner. This is a gorgeous little chalk wheel. You will always hear me recommend this for dark fabrics. If you're marking on dark fabrics, quilting, whatever it is, it's chalk, it's a thin wheel, it does a nice line, brushes off, you move on. So these are my two favorites, especially in the garment world. And this one is just my favorite for dark fabrics, period, because marking on dark fabric is a pain in the butt. So that is my love of that. Let's see, all kinds of good stuff. Tape measure. None of us like measuring ourselves. I'm right there with you, but it's a must. Made this guy, I'll show you. If you've watched me, made quite a few. So this was Bondi #1. This is a lovely knit. I did it all one fabric, okay? Love this guy, but when I put it on, it came out to my shoulders. I apparently am very short in my shoulders. This kind of almost became an off the shoulder top. Not complaining, wear a tank top under it, we're good, right? But after that I learned, all right, it says measure yourself and then follow the pattern. Okay, so we did, and that's what got me this nice shorter neckline. So this is now how all my Bondis turn out, and you may have seen this lovely beauty. Gosh, this thing just, it makes me so happy. So I added a little bit of Kona sheen, which when I do this all along, I'll show you how to do these little added, little more Kona sheen, multicolor. So I actually did the front as this Alexander Henry Xanadu. We have this in 3 colors. Oh my God. Cannot express my love for that enough. And then Juicy Juice, we love him. This is his newest line, deco. And then of course Kona sheen, which you probably can't tell. If you come in the shop, come check this out because it's glitter. It's a very nice soft glitter. It's not that crunchy glitter, so it didn't hurt my feelings to put it in a garment. And that was taking kind of the Bondi whole next level, because I made sure that I put it all with the design in the middle so that the tigers and everything lined up correctly. I can show you all those things in the sew along if you want to play with that. So, but back to the point. Measure, 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 because oh my Lord. Garment #2, a sweatshirt, if I hadn't measured and followed their pattern sizing, might not have fit me as well. And Sew to Grow has, oh my gosh, this tape measure. She calls it the self-measuring tape. We have these, which is fabulous, because you know, you try to measure and you try to look, and you stop and you look and you're not getting the right measurement. I love this thing because it actually goes around, clips in, and then I can push the button to kind of tighten it, and it stays. And then I have my measurement. We're not showing that on video, but then I have my measurement. I don't have to worry about, oh, my finger slipped on the tape measure and all that. Love this thing. This is my new toy. And then you just put it back away. So you may have this in your tools, perfectly acceptable. But oh my gosh, if you're really gonna get into garments and playing, this is one of the investments I would recommend. Self-measuring tape, Sew to Grow, a whole next level. I love her. She's the one that created the Bondi top. She has videos on how to do this too, and they're fabulous. I love her to death. She also made this fashion multi-tool. This thing, this is also my new love because it's a French curve, button measurements. It's got everything. This tool you'll see me use a lot in the sew along, especially if you're having to expand, or if you do like I did with the dress and you're lengthening and all that. The multi-tool is definitely the way to go. Otherwise, you may have what they call a French curve in stock. That works too. Pull that thing out, and that just helps you figure out how to extend, shrink, all those kinds of things, and we'll talk about it. We will talk about it in the sew along. Don't worry. I could be speaking Greek to you guys. I apologize. You'll learn. We'll get there. Because I did. I figured it out. Baby steps. And of course, talking to all my Mayhem makers here. Very supportive group. They're all very helpful in learning all things garments. So don't worry. We'll help you. Look, Renee's here. I love seeing everybody. I've missed you guys so much. I'm sorry I had to take the summer off, but I had to. But we're back. Sew tights. If you haven't seen these are what I'm using instead of pattern weights. This was taught to me by lovely Deanne. She taught me pattern weights, and somebody else talked about using these magnums that I cannot get out of the box, but they're huge. Absolutely huge. And you just clip your fabric and the pattern all together with the pattern weight, and it keeps it from shifting and all that. These are great. Generally also used for like paper piecing, all kinds of stuff. Adam from Handy Quilter, one of our lovely educators, he uses them on the long arm. So very multifunctional, multi-use tool. So once again, not a one-trick pony. We're not into a lot of one-trick ponies around here. We like to have things with a lot of uses. So that's one of my new favorites. Pins, you know, everybody's got pins. If you have not tried magic pins, I've had these for a while. I love them because you can iron on these they're little grippy heads on them, which is nice because then I can pinch them with my nails and pull it out, where like glass head and stuff, they're usually so tiny, they like fly out of your hand and onto the floor, and who knows, I've got dozens of them under my table somewhere. So I like that these have that longer head, the little bit of grip, and if I accidentally get my iron on it, it's not sticking to my iron. I didn't just lose my $200 iron to a pin. So that alone makes them my favorite. And they come in all styles. These are patchwork, and I love that everything's color coded, extra long, fine, and these are fine, and fork pins. If you haven't played with fork pins, oh my gosh, we'll teach you. This is making it so that when you're trying to merge seams, it will actually have a pin, because it's 2 pins forked, and you'll have your seam meet in the middle and just fork through the fabrics. Oh my gosh, you'll learn. And then fine, like, so if you're working with rayons, those super silky materials, the fine pins, they're perfect for that because they're not going to snag in all those kinds of things. They're not big and bulky and making huge holes in your lovely fabrics. Nobody wants that. I do recommend, if you're going to do the Bondi sew along, please start with cotton or knit. Don't start with rayon, please. You will hate me forever if you start with rayon. Rayon, while lovely, soft, silky, and you just want to like pet your sleeves and stuff all day long, they're very slippery. They're definitely a little trickier to work with. Doesn't mean it won't make a great top. You just might be cussing at me along the way going, it won't hold still. So please, just start with a good basic cotton, quilting cotton, or a knit. It behaves, it controls, and stays on the table a lot easier than a rayon. So that is one of my tips. And then of course, you probably have flat flower pins. If you don't want to jump into magic pins, these are probably sitting around your sewing room. You've had these for decades probably. They work great too. So don't worry, any of those things. And then starch. You've heard me talk about starch sprays. You've heard me talk about Best Press, Flatter. These are my favorites. Best Press finally, they came out with this 2.0, so a stronger starch spray. I love it. It is, oh my gosh, fabulous, fabulous, fabulous for rayons, wovens, anything super slinky, has a lot of movement to it. Get yourself the 2.0. And this I love, it sprays a really nice fine mist. So this is fabulous for those materials. I still Flatter, and yeah, this is some of our customers' absolute favorite, pineapple. We're trying to keep it in stock, but certain people keep buying a lot of it. So those addictions are real, but these are great. Great for your seams. They make your seams nice and crisp. They make all your fabrics nice and crisp. I use it on everything. I prep all my fabric with at least flatter if I'm not using the 2.0 Best for Us, depending what it is. Only other thing that you'll probably see on the supply list, they may not know or have, is the 28 millimeter rotary cutter. So 45 is the standard. This is the one almost everybody has of some brand, some kind. 28 millimeter, not as common. This is great if you want to try to cut fabrics without shears. So most people see garment shears. They are definitely the most go-to. You cut your fabric out, not a big deal. If you don't want to be using shears, because sometimes shears kind of lift the fabric as you're trying to cut, and if you're trying to cut around a pattern template, may not cut quite straight and those kinds of things, because it is kind of lifting it up while you're doing it. Try a 28 millimeter rotary blade and cutter, because you can leave it all flat and then you use your ruler and the cutter and you just cut around the fabric, everything stays flat. You just get a cleaner cut out of it. Yes, Trish, we do have flatter. See, it's in my hand. We have flatter in stock because I stole this off the shelf. So we just don't always tell you when we get supply. But yeah, we are trying to keep pineapple in stock. But 28 millimeter cutter just makes it easier because of the smaller diameter on the rotary cutter. It's easier to do the curves, those nice tight curves, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, see, Renee knows curves. Best part for all of that, and I'll demo it in the Bondi sew along, those kinds of things, and you probably will see me demo it in other types of sew alongs and things, because it's a good basic to have in my sewing room. I have it right next to my machine just anytime I need it. So those are all the basic supplies that I would say you would need for the Bondi, or just quilting in general. Most of these supplies are what I have. They are my go-tos, basic supplies. I always have starch no matter what I'm working on. Pins I have no matter what I'm working on, all those things. So if you're a beginning sewist and you don't know where to start, that list that I just gave you, those products, that's where you want to start. Those are those basics that you're going to want to have so that your project that you're doing, it's just a happy experience. You're not frustrated, you're not chucking it in the garbage, all those kinds of things. And please, if you have a project that you're frustrated and you want to chuck it, come see us. Just come see us. Tuesdays through Thursdays we have open sew. You can come sew here and we'll answer questions. We have late night sews, you can do that. I have a 4-day retreat coming up in December that if you want to spend 4 days with me, showing you how to sew things and help you with whatever projects you bring in, bring those projects, sign up for those 4 days. I'll walk you through whatever you need help with, whether it's garments, bags, quilts, applique, English paper piecing, all those things. All of it we'll help you with. Machine embroidery, you name it, we'll help you with it. So sign up for any of those open sews or retreats and we'll gladly help you. That's what we're here for. Like I said, it's all about education. We want you to be happy when you sew. So you just reach out to us. We'll answer those questions. Absolutely. That's what we're here for, 7 days a week. Or you can message us, Facebook, all that. There's a group of us. We'll probably answer at all hours of the night. We're crazy and never sleep. So just reach out. Let us know what you need. We'll gladly help you. But I'm excited to be back. I'm not going to be here next week. I'm sorry. I'm out of town. Typical Mayhem. I say I'm here and then I'm not. But the week after that, we'll be back. And I'll be here every week, Mondays at 3. I gotta go do a little family thing and soak up some sunshine, and then I'll come back. We'll be on it every week. I'll bring in new tips, new techniques, new products, new fabrics, new everything, new classes. We're back rolling. We're here. Just let us know what you need from us. All right. Until then, happy stitching.